Okay, hello everyone, and the meeting is called to order at 6:02. So we will first have roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Guard, Commissioner Ten,
Here.
Commissioner Mukherjee.
Here.
Commissioner Biswari,
Here.
Chair Biswari, Commissioner Sue, Commissioner Lau,
Here.
Commissioner Liu. Present, and Commissioner Misra.
Okay, so let's move on to the ceremonial matters and presentations for today. Our first subject is the Outdoor Recreation Division, and the recommended action is to receive a presentation on the Outdoor Recreation Division from Recreation Manager Molly James.
Not necessary. Thank you for having me. My name is Molly James and I am recreation manager who oversees our outdoor recreation division. There we are. So on our agenda for this presentation, we are going to talk about the 3 facilities that live within the outdoor recreation division, which is Blackberry Farm,
Okay. There we go.
there it is. So we're going to talk about the 3 facilities that live within our outdoor recreation division, which is Blackberry Farm Golf Course, Blackberry Farm Park, and McClellan Ranch Preserve. Start with Blackberry Farm Golf Course. As many of you may know or may not know, because you're not into golf, I don't know. During the pandemic, golf numbers, participation numbers for golf skyrocketed. It was one of the very few things that people could continue to do through the pandemic. And we saw that effect at our golf course. The numbers were super high. So the numbers that you see on the screen right now, from 22, 23, those are still sort of the post-pandemic numbers. And then last year, they're getting a little bit lower. The good news is that we are still trending to have the same numbers this coming year that we had during 23, 24. One of the more interesting facts, though, is that during the summer months, so June, July, and August, this past June, July, and August of 2024, we had 335 more youth and teens play the course than we had during the summer of 2023. So that says a lot about golf and maybe the future of golf, that we like to see the youth come and play. All right, next slide.
No, I was doing that, sorry.
That's okay. So last year we introduced a super fun.
Like, what is one of those with the arrows?
There it is.
It's
So-
going right.
oh,
I don't know.
that's okay.
Just start talking and I'm gonna go.
So last year we introduced a super fun new event at the golf course. It was called Glow Night Golf. We had people who had never played golf before, and then we had people who play all the time. We played in groups of 4. It was like a tournament style, but we played at night. So you got glow golf balls, and then everybody had like glow necklaces. The first one we did in November was really fun. People had a great time. The one that we did in December, I think Robert was there for, and it was so bitter cold that we had less people that came. But it was really fun, and we're gonna offer 2 new nights of night golf in January 31st, and then February 28th in 2025. Super fun, bring your friends. We also did our annual golf tournament, which is called the Spring Swing Scramble. This was the second one that we've had at the golf course. And again, mix of new and experienced golfers. And then there are prizes that are awarded to the first place team. There's typically, this last year we had a tie, and there was even a putt off for the winning team. All right, we'll move on to Blackberry Farm. Whenever it gets there. Here it is, Blackberry.
Oh, no.
I passed it. There we go. So we'll talk about Blackberry Farm Park. I don't know if you guys have been out there, but Blackberry Farm has our are the two pools that are owned by the city, along with a really large picnic area that people rent for like, parties or family reunions or lots of graduation things that happen out there. Blackberry is open from May and through September, so it's a seasonal facility. So that's what these numbers represent. So we have drop-in swim passes, memberships. That's how many membership check-ins we had, and then picnic site usage. So it's a pretty heavily used facility when you look at these numbers.
Oh, my goodness. It's gonna go to you.
It's not usually like.
There we go. The most exciting thing for us this last season was that for the first time since 2019, we were fully staffed. And that means all young people, so everybody who's out there is in high school and college. We had, I think 62 employees last year, lifeguards, customer service attendants. And like I said, it was the first time we've been fully staffed since before the pandemic, which was really exciting for us that people are now returning to work and excited to get those life skills. We also had swim lessons, so we teach a lot of swim lessons. The number increased from 2023 to 2024 because we had all of those extra lifeguards. So we were able to offer more lessons, and since swimming is a life skill, it's amazing that we're able to offer that to the community. We also got lane lines this year, so the pool got replastered and then they put in the lane lines. And we offered lap swim. It was just on weekends this year, and next year it'll expand to weekdays. And the most exciting day of the year at Blackberry Farm is the Pooch Plunge. It's a day at the end of the season where people can sign up to bring their dogs to come and go swimming. There's 4 different swim blocks. It's 45 minutes each. You can come and bring your dog and they can play in the pool. A lot of us don't even go in the pool. They just run around. It's so cute and so fun. We have so many requests for it that we're gonna offer a second Pooch Plunge in the spring this year. So there'll be a Pooch Plunge before the season and then a Pooch Plunge after the season. McClellan Ranch Preserve. This is probably one of the facilities we have in our city. I don't know if you guys have been out to McClellan, but they do so many cool things out there. We have our Environmental Education Center.
Go for it, sorry.
Our Environmental Education Center, we have open houses every Saturday from 11 AM to 3 PM. Got hands-on nature activities, local ecology education. We have animal ambassadors, so there's everything from frogs to turtles to snakes, to mice that live in the EEC, and you're able to come in and tarantulas, touch some of them, learn about the other ones. It's pretty cool. And depending on the weather, we have an average of like 45 to 100 visitors that just kind of walk in every week. So new for this year is we're gonna start offering group reservations at McClellan. So if you have a school group, any age, you're able to reach out to the recreation coordinator, Miles, he's pictured down there on the bottom photo, and set up a reservation for your group to come out and either take a nature walk or do a tour of the Environmental Education Center. And you can kind of tailor your experience to what level you're looking for. Next slide, please. I'm not sure how many of you guys went through the 3rd grade creek tour program at McClellan. If you went through Cupertino School District, you probably went out there. So we're still offering that program. Part of that is the stormwater pollution prevention program. This last year, we updated the curriculum so that it meets the 3rd grade standards. We had 9 schools and 700 students last year. And this year, we're gonna see double that number come through. So more schools post-pandemic are now able to come back or choosing to come back. So we're gonna have a lot of students come through McClellan this year. And our nature and summer science camps are incredibly popular. We always have wait lists for these programs. It's the programs that highlight nature and science. There's not much more to say other than that. They are super popular, always waitlisted. I think we missed a slide.
We may.
That's okay.
Wait, it's fine.
Good Creek tour, so maybe not. So at McClellan Ranch, we have a lot of partnerships and we do that with our summer camps. On site in that area, we have, the Santa Clara County Bird Alliance, which is the new name for the Audubon Society. They have a new name. We have the Rolling Hills chapter of 4-H. We have the 4-H beekeepers. We've got master gardeners. We have grassroots ecology who do, a lot of our volunteer programs out at McClellan. And then we have an in-house blacksmith named Eric Chang, and he does really cool blacksmithing programs. At McClellan, we also have our community gardens. So these gardens were around for a really long time and then they redid them. So 3 years ago, they reopened. And the original term was 3 years. We just moved that term from 3 to 5 years. So now if you sign up to have a garden, you would get that same garden plot for 5 years instead of 3. It gives people a longer time to establish a garden and really make it fruitful. So there's a $150 deposit, and then there's a $110 annual fee to use the garden bed. And we give priority to people who live in high density housing, so apartments and things like that, or who are enrolled in the PG&E care program. And most of our gardeners are 50 plus, mostly senior gardeners. We've got 2 different garden sites. We've got McClellan Ranch Reserve and we have Wilson Park and of plots that are available and what wait lists look like. And then finally, this is pretty cool. We just got, after a year of working on this project, a brand new app out at McClellan Ranch for, it's an AR app. So you can take a tour of 6 different stations throughout McClellan and get a really cool augmented reality experience. We've got an introduction that happens at the EC. There's habitat restoration. We talk about a woodpecker. There's a bee project, and then some crops, and then steelhead trout. So all you have to do is show up at McClellan. You've got your smartphone. You can scan the QR code that we've put everywhere. You can't miss it, and then go on the tour. People are really enjoying it, so we're getting really good feedback on that so far. And that's all I have. Do you guys have questions? Or wait, that's that.
Thank you so much. So do we have any clarifying questions?
Hi, so I had a question about the Blackberry Farm golf course. Is it open to like schools, golf team for competitions and things like that?
You could reserve it. You could reserve all the teams to do that. Nobody has done that for a tournament. We do have schools that will come out and practice on our course, but we haven't had someone like book it out for a tournament.
Okay,
But it's available.
Okay. Do we have any other clarifying questions? No, okay. Do we have any public comments? No, okay. Any additional comments from the commission? No, okay, thank you so much. We will now move on to our next subject item, which is also the Poet Laureate Team Position. So we will receive information on a Poet Laureate Selection Committee from Recreation Manager Molly James.
Very exciting. Robert trained us well, huh?
So in addition to being the manager for the Outdoor Recreation Division, I'm also the liaison to the Library Commission. And part of what the Library Commission is working on this year is they're updating our Poet Laureate playbook, which is the guidelines we use to establish the Poet Laureate program. We're in like the second draft phase of that project. It should get approved on December the 4th. And part of that proposal is that when we go through the selection process, which is composed of several parts that I'll go over with you, we would ask that other commissions, specifically Teen Commission and the Arts and Culture Commission, have 2 volunteer commissioners that come and be part of the selection committee. So that would be reviewing the applications and then sitting through the interview process and then helping to make the selection. So the timeline for what we think the Poet Laureate process will look like once it's approved would be that in February, the Poet Laureate Subcommittee will be established, and then that group from the Library Commission, that group will then, begin the, like recruitment and, why am I blanking on the word? Publicizing marketing process. And people will have from like mid-March through mid-April to submit their application. And then, really it would be sort of like end of May, early June, sometime in there. I don't foresee it taking up that much time, like I can't fathom it taking like more than 2 or 3 hours of time. To sit in on the interviews. The interviews are probably an hour each and they probably would do, it depends on how many people apply. We typically have never had people apply before. They did just expand the age range for applicants. Before you had to be at least 21, now you have to be at least 18. So that may open the door for more people to apply. I don't know, but I really don't see it I really don't foresee it taking up too much time. I know that's a really crazy busy time of year for you all. It's also not mandatory by any means. So what would happen is the Library Commission would come to you and say, if you have anybody who would like to participate, great. If not, no big deal. And maybe somebody from the Arts and Culture Commission would be willing to do it. We would ask for no more than 2 team commissioners to do it and no more than 2 Arts and Culture Commissioners. Just for Brown Act standards.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any clarifying questions from the committee? Okay, do we have any public comments? Okay, any additional comments from the commission? Okay, thank you so much.
Don't bring this to take longer.
Okay, now we will move on. Thank you, thank you. Now we will move on to our third subject for today, which is to receive a presentation from youth-led organization Tino Eco for Teen Commission Highlight Program.
Hi, I'm Florence. Hi, I'm Alice, and Achilles unfortunately sick. But today we'll be presenting on our plant organization, Tino Eco, and how it is a resource for youth to tackle environmental activism. So to go over our mission statement, Tino Eco is a youth-led environmental nonprofit that strives to firstly provide environmental literacy and secondly environmental engagement on a community level through providing network of resources and access of opportunities to tackle environmental doomism. So environmental doomism, to define that term, it's like sorry. So when you climate, it's kind of like a paralyzing state of mind where people are unable to act upon helping the environment because they feel like our nature is doomed or we're not able to do anything or an individual can't make that much change. So our organization wants to tackle that mindset, and along the way we hope to create positive impact on our community and also secondly create opportunities for people to be out in nature. So being out in nature kind of gives people an appreciation of nature, and that's the really first step before we even get to environmental doomism. So we need people out in nature more to appreciate nature, and then secondly, they kind of learn more about the environment, and hopefully our organization takes them beyond the step of environmental doomism. Makes sense?
Yeah, so our club is open to all, which means that there is no prior knowledge required to join our club. And as defined earlier, environmental doomist mindset, what we want to do is that we want to tell people that we're not doomed, even though the media often portrays a lot of negativity when we look at climate or environmental topics. And we just want to let all of our members know that there is something that can be done and that there is something that they can do. And we serve as a bridge between these eager volunteers and these volunteer opportunities that we provide with them. And these volunteer opportunities also provide leadership opportunities for our members. And we have many initiatives to help our members grow and learn along the way. Next slide, please.
So the very first step of the process is to inform. We have an initiative called Education, where our members help us write easy to read articles that covers many niche environmental topics, and then publish them on Medium. So through writing these articles, first of all, the articles we have them to be solution oriented. So instead of following footsteps of the general media where we show, oh my gosh, climate change, such a big thing happening, but don't mention the solutions, we try to implement as many solutions as we can at the end of all our articles. And so this publication initiative helps readers and writers to inform themselves about the environmental field. First of all, readers, for the readers, it removes the barrier of having to read scientific articles or needing to have comprehension like maybe at a college level. And for writers, they can research topics that they're already interested in and they know how to convey that in a more simpler term. And a lot of people have many different interests. So we also, one of the biggest things that we want to show is that the environmental field is really interdisciplinary. So many different people have a role to play against fighting climate change. You can be a computer scientist, as shown in the game there that we have done. You can be a teacher, you can be a lawyer, you can be anything you want and still be able to fight for the cause that you have. And so having many different people with different perspective write our articles, we are able to show many different disciplines in the environmental field. And it's really fun. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so now two things. As a community organization, we want to better the environment and better the community. And also as a youth-led organization, we want to bring out the best in youth. And to do this, we want to encourage stewardship by providing leadership opportunities and allowing our members an opportunity to lead instead of just officers. We want to make youth voices heard and valued. As mentioned before in our publication initiative, we have our members and they are able to write and design articles on issues that they genuinely care about and issues that they hope to spread more awareness on, which we will publish on Medium and also on our Instagram account to spread awareness on a community level. And we want to foster a safe space because connecting all these different individuals and these diverse voices, we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to share their own thoughts and opinions. And we want to connect a community and not just a community, but a close-knit community. And to do this, we will talk more about this in our following two initiatives where we provide members an opportunity to volunteer. Next slide.
So first of all, we have adopted park. So we adopted a park in San Jose right next to Lynbrook High School, Rainbow Park, and we've been having consistent outdoor volunteering there. It is a local park, so it's a more accessible environmental volunteer opportunity because usually environmental volunteer opportunities are at nature preserves. We have one at McAllen with grassroots ecology, but some of them might be really far, maybe at Cooling Landing, which is quite far away. So we provide environmental volunteering for people to be out in nature more, first of all. Secondly, to keep our park clean so that frequent park users can be encouraged and have a positive experience with the parks to be out in nature more, once again. And then to reiterate that, we also have cleanup walks, which is once every 2 months. And we kind of just gather in a group and pick up trash as we walk around. First of all, this encourages stewardship because as a group, you are more seen and people begin to realize that trash is a really big issue and we want to keep our environment clean. So kind of guilt tripping other people into, hey, you should pick up your trash and you should care about the environment. And at the same time, we're also picking up trash. Yeah.
And here are some statistics. According to the National Institute of Health, it is known that actually 98% of mental health outcomes improved after active engagement with the environment. And this just shows how significant of an impact that our adoptive park and cleanup walk initiatives can make, that not only are we allowing members to go around and beautify the environment, but this also provides an opportunity for students to just de-stress from work, school, and life.
These are some things that we have done. So in chronological order, we started with our Cupertino night market where we started literacy initiatives and fundraising. And then next is down here, we held a carbon footprint competition. So we challenged youth to research, to be out in nature more, or to make their own projects to help understand carbon footprint and also reduce their carbon footprint. I think we had about 250 submissions from that. So it was really exciting. And we got a grant from SVC. And next up was the Earth Day at FUHSD had a Earth Day festival, and there we kind of brought this de-stressing element of our organization there. So we had people help us paint rocks that we can use to beautify our environment more and place it in parks. After that, we have the Earth Day Festival this year for Cupertino, and there was more rocks, but then we mainly trying to have them turn trash into art. So we did scrapbooking and we showed them some examples. Yeah, and then just recently we also helped out with the bike fest, helped with bike decorating, and you were there. Do you want to explain that?
Oh, so it was a really popular event among kids, and it was the first time or the first year we actually did this event, and a lot of people showed up. We also made origami and we used pipe cleaners to make flowers on the helmets, and there was this girl with a really cute Hello Kitty helmet, and it was a pretty fun experience overall.
And this was also just recently. We went to San Francisco for BASES's environmental summit, and we did environmental charades there. So we had because they were a pretty advanced group, so we had a few turns and having them acting out. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any clarifying questions from the commission? Anika?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were looking to get involved with schools at all, so I'm assuming you guys are both in FUHSD schools, or at least in the area, so were you looking into school cleanups or anything of that sort?
We are a grassroots organization, so we're not really school bound. We do know at our school, Cupertino, we already have a club doing cleanup, so we don't really try to touch their.
Okay,
Well,
Uh, As, I was just gonna remind the commissioners that we're also doing the evaluation tonight, so just keep that in mind because you have them here now for the presentation, and this is your opportunity to ask questions considering that. Sorry.
my question is, do you, as like a part of your, maybe like your literacy program, do you guys like teach people like sorting trash, that kind of thing? So recycling, composting, landfill, or just more like general?
Yeah, so we are quite new, so we started like 3 years ago, I think. So our literacy program right now is just articles and podcasts. We are actually looking to expand that into workshops, so like you said, teaching people how to sort trash. So we have been gaining members recently.
I guess follow-up question to that would be, what is your like podcast website thing? What do you like typically cover? Can you like name examples?
Yes, so one of the episodes we covered was about artificial turf, specifically at FUHSD schools. So at the school board meeting I think about same time this year, last year, same time right now that last year, there was a really big debate about artificial turf on the FUHSD school. So we covered that with some advocates that were for pro turf and like broke down their argument. Yeah. And then we had another one where we interviewed the Green Party, which is a political party, about their stance on stuff. And we try to keep it as nonpartisan as possible.
I had a few questions. So first of all, since you guys are a grassroots organization in Cupertino, and it seems like you're quite involved with like FUHSD matters, are you collaborating with any other relevant organizations to help increase your impact, like maybe the Climate Collective at the district?
I actually have a collective, and right, the Climate Collective is also pretty new, so they're not looking for collabs right now. But Tino, you go over our time. We did collab with Cupertino's Environmental Club. And not too I can't think of it on top of my head right now, but yeah.
Okay, and another quick question I had. So you mentioned advocacy and even like in politics as well. So are there any other like advocacy programs or ways you encourage students or youth to advocate in terms of like political issues around them?
Yes, actually, we are just like the workshop, we're actually trying to start advocacy right now. We're going to one of the biggest things that we have seen while doing the cleanup walks and also Adopt a Park is there's a lot of confetti littered around, and those are especially hard to pick up. So we're planning to do advocacy.
any other clarifying questions from the commission?
It's not really a clarifying question, but like what's like one goal you would like want to accomplish by the end next year or
Would you say like our biggest goal or?
like not really like your mission statement, more like something maybe you want to do, like maybe like if you want to host workshops or like
Like
write
short-term
out-
goal, right?
yeah, like a short term goal.
Yeah, I think the short-term goal is hosting maybe at least 3 workshops and then get the advocacy started. And then solidifying our publication team so that we have more members and more helpers.
Yeah, I have a question too. So through the highlight program, are you looking to have more people like contribute to like the article part of the thing or like participate in your events? Like what is like the goal?
We are looking for people all around. That article would probably be the biggest help that we need. But like just people, short-term volunteers can also make a really big impact, you know, when we show up as a mob, it kind of like brings the energy.
I have a question. Okay, how many people are currently part of your officer team, and then how many volunteers do you have for events?
Officer team, we have, let's say 11. So we have the president, VP of press, which works on publication and podcasts. We have VP of internal, VP of external, publication officer, publication slash podcast officer, member engagement, we works on Adopt a Park, 2 websites, 3 PR. I might be forgetting some. And how many members have been showing up to our events? I would say we get like on average 6 to 7 people show up. And then some people, yes.
Okay, and then do we have any other clarifying questions from the commission?
You mentioned advocacy multiple times earlier. What type of advocacy specifically are you talking about? Are you talking about like educating more people or like pushing for policy, or what type of advocacy specifically?
We mainly, our advocacy is mainly on informing people. But as I said, that we're trying to start a advocacy initiative where we do try to push for policy, but pushing for policy is not our biggest goal, and our biggest goal is to inform.
I have just a quick question. I'm curious about the 2 websites you mentioned. Could you give us a quick overview of both of those websites and what the, purpose is for them? Is it like 2 website officers, or you have?
Oh, 2 website officers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a website.
We do have a website, but it's like, because we're pretty low on funds, so we've been coding it from scratch and it doesn't look quite good.
That's okay.
It's a work in progress. But we do also have some side projects that we've been working on, which is a environmental game. So like, you know, bring fun elements into learning about the environment.
Do we have any other clarifying questions for the commission? Okay, I have one last question. What are your plans to grow your nonprofit, and then how do you plan to sustain your nonprofit after, let's say, both of you graduate?
Yeah, so we're already in the process of sustaining our nonprofit after most of our officers are seniors. So we have a training program, and we started this since this school year. So we kind of invite people to apply and kind of act like interns or trainees for each officer and get to feel of each role. And then every quarter they switch out and they try different roles, and then at the end we'll evaluate it all and their teamwork skills. Oh yeah, they do not just jobs for the role that they've been assigned to, but also like team projects. So you just evaluate that from there and choose our next officer team.
Yeah, and then I guess last thing, do you have any other new ideas to continue to grow your nonprofit other than like advocacy and other your current initiatives?
Oh yeah, we just adopted like 3 storm drains, so that will be added to our Adopt a Park kind of program. Keep cleaning, keep our city clean, and then we are also planning, well, we have applied to adopt bus stops. They have not been reviewed yet, I don't think so, it's been quite a while. But with the bus stops, we're planning to also encourage the use of public transit. Firstly, keep it clean, second, make it comfortable. And then ways that we can make it comfortable depends on our budget. So we could add cushions or add food, see how it goes.
Okay. Do we have any last clarifying questions from the commission? Do we have any public comments? Okay, any additional comments from the commission? Okay, thank you so much.
Good night.
Now we will move on to our next subject, which is the public safety fair. And our recommended action is to receive a presentation on the public safety fair from teen Susanna.
Hi guys, I'm Susanna. I'm a junior at Lynbrook High School and I'm also a Boy Scout and I'm working towards my Eagle project. Currently, I'm working with OEM manager Tom Chin and Mr. Bobby Toda to work on a public safety fair that I will be hosting at Cupertino Library in front of the library building and City Hall on, we're estimating March 22nd on a Saturday or March 21st. It will be a 4-hour event and it's gonna be from 4 to 8 p.m. At this fair, we hope to provide all high schoolers, young adults, kids, adults, everyone in this community, an opportunity to go see the things that are provided to them, such as sheriff's department, and teach them about safety, such as how to combat drug overdose, and just to provide them with the resources they might need in the future. So my plan is to reach out to all of the organizations around, currently sheriff's department, the sheriff's department, the fire department, probably cancer societies, and I would like for you guys to help me reach out to your local schools clubs if possible, or recommend me some clubs that you think would be a good fit for this. I was thinking maybe the Red Cross Club or like a neuroscience club. Along with this, I'm also looking for around 20, 30 to 40 volunteers to help me out with this project. So I'm looking for 3 section leads who will be in charge of volunteers and contacting organizations and also pre-planning, and they will be the point of contact with me to help. Next, I would also like to get just general volunteers, around 15 to 20, who can guide the people around or to help out, move stuff, set up, manage booths, and help out. Yeah. Next, I would like around 5 to 6 promotional team members who can help me promote this event to local schools, young adults, or the community. And I would like for them to reach out to people, send flyers, create connections, and help out with the Cupertino newspaper. Last but not least, I would like to reach out for 2 to 4 members for support staff so they can help with administrative tasks and troubleshooting. Along with this, I would also like for you guys to offer me comments of where I can find fundraising for this event. I'm looking towards around $300, $400 for supplies, mostly for the refreshments for volunteers, garbage bags, stationery, and volunteer shirts and lights. So, any comments?
Okay, thank you so much. So do we have any clarifying questions from the commission?
I-
Thank you.
So public safety is a pretty broad topic. So could you tell us some like particular facets you might be planning to focus on during the event?
Yeah, so we're gonna have 2 sections. One's gonna be emergency preparedness, and that's gonna include the sheriff's department, fire department, and all those first emergency responders. And the next section is gonna be an education segment. So that's where your clubs come into play and like drugs come into play. So we can teach them about fentanyl, teach them about cancer, how to identify cancer, how to prevent cancer. Yes.
I was wondering, you talked about how like with your emergency preparedness, you want to get the sheriff's department, fire department involved, so I was wondering if you already had like these departments involved, or if you had any ideas of like how to contact them and maybe get those people involved.
Yeah, I've already been put into direct contact with Chief Estrada of the Cupertino Police Department, and I know Mr. Bobby Toda is currently connecting me with the fire department, so I have a clear reach for those. I just need more ideas to reach out to. Yes.
Do you know like what the format of the event would be? Like I'm kind of unclear on like how like the two different things.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like a fair format. If you've ever been to like a festival or fair, I'm gonna have booths with tables set up, and I'm gonna have around 30 booths, around 15 emergency, 15 education, and we're gonna have them lined up around the Cupertino Library field in front of the library. And we're just gonna have members come in, walk through the fair, if you get what I mean. Do you want more clarifying?
No, I think that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm a little confused. Is this like a Cupertino like affiliated event, City of Cupertino affiliated event? You said you're working with who?
OEM manager Tom Chin. So yes, I am affiliated with the emergency management of Cupertino, and I'm working with them.
Yes, so I remember you said to, reach out to a bunch of people about this. If we would like to, is there like a place, like maybe a website or an Instagram account or something like that where we can get information to like forward it to interested parties?
Yeah, my email is susannakub@gmail.com. SUSANNAKHUB@gmail.com. So that's SUSANNAKHUB@gmail.com.
B as in boy?
Yes, B as in boy.
Perfect.
Do we have any last clarifying questions from the commission? Okay, any public comments? Any additional comments from the commission? Yes.
So in terms of grants, I know the AAA has some grants sometimes available for things that may be traffic safety related. There's also organizations like the Silicon Valley Bike Coalition, again, for traffic related things. And if you are interested in, in the emergency or the education section of your boots to talk a little bit about, like biking and walking and all those like, again, traffic related things, I would recommend reaching out to the Safe Routes to School working group with the city of Cupertino. They handle a lot of things like this, and they also host things like the Bike Fest and all of that.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you.
Okay, yes, any other last additional comments from the commission? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, now we will move on to the approval of minutes for today. So if everyone can just refer back to the meeting minutes from last night.
Hey, you're free to leave. Yeah, you don't need to be hostage. Oh, it's really confusing. It's like.
Okay, is everyone good or do we need a few more minutes? Okay. Who would like to motion to approve the meeting minutes for October 9th, 2024?
I motion to approve.
Anyone second? Okay. We don't have any postponements as of now. We don't have any oral communications, or written communication, or any business. So we will now move on to the new business for today, which is to first evaluate Tino Eco 14 Commission Highlight Program. So Sonia will first present.
Okay, thank you. So when we established the Youth Highlight organization program, we also established our application questions. So it's a lot of information, but I've put up the answers that they gave when they applied. So we'll just go through the application and then we'll consider them for the highlight program. Okay. Where did this? All right. Sorry, guys.
Oh, LinkedIn.
I'm not sure why. Okay, so this is the overall questions that we wanted to make sure. What are their goals? Somebody looked that up and remembered to ask that. So what do you want to achieve? What are your plans to increase engagement in the future? What are your plans after you graduate? What are your plans for the longevity of the organization? And why do you want to have the YLO highlighted? And what's the organization's impact on Cupertino and what made them want to start the YLO? So you guys did pretty well, making sure to answer those questions while they were here. Okay, so this is their organization information. Tino Eco, Clarabelle was one of the presenters, and they do have a website, and they have an Instagram account. Okay, they've been in existence for 2 years. And April 2022 is when they officially launched. They have 20 core members, and then they have volunteers that also come to the organization through the written works and advocacy program. Okay. So we asked how many events they do. This is a lot of information, but I just kind of cut and pasted it. They have overall estimated about 10 events. They've tabled at 3 events: Cupertino Night Market, FUHSD's Earth Day Festival, and the City of Cupertino's Earth Day Festival. They ran one competition, that carbon footprint competition. They ran 2 events. The carbon footprint competition award ceremony and a clothing fundraiser. And then they're currently running 4 programs: Adopt the Park, publication, podcast, and recycling fundraiser. Okay, I feel like they answered this pretty well for you of what they actually do, but they serve participants virtually. Most of them, they put this back when they filled this out. I actually thought that they presented that there's a lot of stuff that they do in person. They have the Adopt the Park program in person, and the publication podcast program is virtual. And these programs help them to interact with the public directly and create a strong sense of community for environmental justice. Really, we have to go 2 forward and 1 back. The Adopt a Park program, I felt they spoke to that pretty well about doing the cleanup at Rainbow Park and writing articles. And then their Instagram account, which I don't think that they presented too much about. Through that, members can join the Tino Eco publication team and take part in spreading the awareness. Okay, they answered pretty well as well about their plans for after graduation. So they've established a trainee program and they're planning to make a board of directors. It sounds like since they filled this out, they did fill this out quite a while ago. They've made a board of directors and then they're, planning for a transition from the current officers to the next group coming up. Okay, what makes them unique? They have a lot of different platforms, volunteer events, articles, podcasts, and let's see. One thing that they strive for is inclusivity, and that they have programs that are inclusive for all ages, genders, and religions, so anybody can join their group. Why should Teen Commission highlight the organization? This is one that I don't think that they did talk about in their presentation. They provide opportunities for youth to be involved in their community, but also accessible and comprehensible resources for everyone to learn about the environment. The Teen Commission values organizations that bring out the best in youth and make an everlasting impact on the community. So they have a strong supporter of change if they choose to support them. Okay, so that was a summary of their application.
Yeah.
So now I hand it over to you. Have some discussion about the group and you'll go through the discussion. And then before you call for the motion, you'll go through your usual final questions, public comment, we don't have anybody anymore, and then final comment. Go to call for a motion and then we'll vote.
Okay. So at this point, I think we should open up the discussion for whether we want to highlight, go or not. So what are our thoughts as of now?
Do you have a limit on how many programs you can actually highlight for the highlight program, or is it just as many as we want?
That's a really good question. There's not a limit right now. We haven't had a ton of applications. This is only the second one that we're considering. And we have one more application in, but they are on kind of hiatus, so they didn't want to present quite yet. So it's pretty slow. I feel like we're, able to handle them at the pace that they're coming in. We would readdress if we got like 20.
I think,
Yeah, also, what does the highlight program actually do? I remember you said something about posting on the Instagram, we support it, but other than that, is there anything else that more material, I guess?
So ultimately, when you decide if you do approve them, what they get is that Instagram post on the city Instagram account. That's what they get out of it. But part of it also is the process that they go through the application coming to present. We're live streamed as a Teen Commission. It gives them an opportunity to speak to all of you and then for all of you to be aware and then promote their program potentially in your schools as well.
I have a question. Why doesn't the Teen Commission have an Instagram? I know, just for the youth organization post, I think maybe it'd be better if we had one.
Yeah, I'll make note of that question and touch base with our marketing specialists.
personally, if we're just talking about our opinions on it, when they gave their presentation, they seemed to be almost like a pretty well-formed organization. So I think that I would have probably wanted to ask that question, what do you hope to gain from getting this highlight? But I think one of the things that they mentioned was that their website isn't exactly the strongest right now. So I think maybe getting them up with this publicity on Instagram would maybe help them reach more people through the online platform.
I checked.
Okay. But yeah, I think because they have that online presence through Medium and their podcast, but that might be a little bit too zoomed in for people who aren't aware of their organization. So I think just considering the fact that they're a pretty well organized, they've had so many events already, and this could benefit them. I think that they're a pretty good candidate.
Any other
We
thoughts?
improved the textbook reading one.
The AI one, yeah.
I think one question I saw on their application is that they would have their older, like more experienced members be on a like board of directors and work on making Tino Eco actually a nonprofit. So my question is, are they still
I
like,
think it's like a really long process to become like an actual official nonprofit, so.
You mean like lawyers and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
You just like you have to file taxes, like it's a long word.
okay,
They're seniors, so they're probably thinking like, okay, we can deal with that because they don't want to put that on any officers.
okay,
Like my biggest concern when I saw it was that the actual people participating versus their officer team ratio was like what?
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
two types of officers and participants.
Yeah, which I thought
I
was
was,
very
I was confused about that. I'm not sure if like that 6 to 7 is like their member meetings like at our school or.
No, like the adopted
At
part
the
stuff.
events, huh?
and they also talked about having a lot of short-term volunteers, so
I mean, in a way, I guess we would be supporting them to get more, so.
yeah.
It wouldn't be, I guess it wouldn't be fair to judge them based on how many people they have currently.
No, that was what I told you, that was my biggest concern, and I don't think that's a huge issue, because like you said, they're pretty well established and compared to what, the other YLOs we've seen in the past, they're pretty darn good.
How do we think they differentiate themselves from similar climate change YLOs? Because there are many from what I've seen.
I don't think they can, that's okay.
I mean, I guess taking the initiative to come here
I
would
mean-
probably be a big thing.
That's a good point.
And their impact on the city, they're probably not, anything different from the other climate people, but because they're in our city and they impact our city. that's-
They're also not like a club or an organization particular to a school. So we saw that they did things in Cupertino High School, and then they adopted a park in the Lynbrook High School area as well. So they have more of a almost FUHSD wide reach, which is a pretty solid thing for the City of Cupertino Teen Commission to consider, since we have 3 FUHSD schools, right?
Yeah, and they seem to be like pretty strongly saying like, we're not affiliated with it.
Right. Okay, do we have any other like last comments we want to talk about? Or things we noticed?
They were honest as well. I like that.
Yes.
They were trying to like blow it down as
They
proportion.
weren't, yeah, they were honest.
Okay, so are we ready to move on? Okay. So before calling for the motion, do we have any final questions from the commission? Any public comments? Any final comments from the commission? Okay, so now we will move on to calling for a motion to approve. So who wants to motion to approve first?
That motion to approve.
I started,
Okay, perfect. So now we will go through a voting process. So,
You can do it all in favor, all opposed, all.
okay. I guess who's all in favor to approve? All in,
Fine colors.
okay.
Aye.
All opposed?
now you got lobbied for that, yeah.
You all were all in favor, so you can, and then,
Okay, perfect.
so you can actually announce too that they've been approved by these.
So Tito Eco has been approved for the Teen Commission Highlight Program by a vote of 8 people on the Teen Commission, vote to 0. Okay, now it's time to move on to our next new business, which is the December Teen Commission meeting. So we will just discuss and provide feedback on the possible cancellation of the December Teen Commission meeting.
So I'll take that one. We agendized it just so that we could formally discuss it. For December, I know that traditionally that's a finals time for you because it's always the second Wednesday, so that pushes us farther into December. And since we were able to do the evaluation tonight, I feel like we've covered a lot of our more urgent business. So I just wanted to put it out there and see if that was something that you would be interested in canceling the December meeting. Resume in January.
Okay, related to do you have any clarifying questions about the December meeting?
Anyone know what date that is?
That's a great question.
December
No.
11th.
That'd be quicker.
Oh.
We don't have no public comments. Any final comments from the commission about cancellation?
Actually, what you could do is just go ahead and like, let me know your thoughts individually, maybe. We don't have to vote, I don't think. You could just kind of give me an idea of how many people that would work for to go ahead and cancel. I don't think we have to do it as formally.
Okay, so we can just start off with the nursery if you want to, and then we can go around and say what our thoughts are.
I'm pretty neutral towards it. I don't think that helps a lot, but either way, I think would be fine with me. Yeah, although it is like right in mid-December, I get it if a lot of people are in favor of canceling this particular meeting, since as was brought up, we covered a lot of urgent business, so I'm okay with either.
I don't have finals. No.
Darn.
What?
Wait, where do you go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, screw that.
Yeah. I think like what Anishi said, if the majority just wants to cancel, we can do that.
Yeah, fine either way. I think our finals, like there's a week between the meeting and finals, so it's like, his finals are late this year. So I don't think I start studying that.
Oh, yeah, it's so real.
I don't particularly care if we cancel the meeting or not. Are you sure it's the week before?
Wait, so it's like that week, I think there's a week in between and then finals week.
That week? Okay, then I don't think we need to I don't think we really need to cancel, but.
Wait, is there like, do we have a?
Yeah, that's what I was.
We currently do not have any agenda items or anything that needs to be covered, so if we did, then I would let you know, like, we should be covering this, but are you all gonna be able to make it? But we don't actually have anything.
To cover.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of either way to me, it doesn't really matter. I don't think freshman is very hard, so
Damn.
I'll be fine.
Oh, fuck. I'd say, I mean, if there's no agenda items, I'm just like. it's not good.
That's true.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, nothing to do.
I'm neutral either way, but I think if there are no agendized items, it would be fine to cancel the meeting, right?
Yeah.
So that's really good feedback. So if something does come up that we should meet, then I'll know that it seems like everybody could meet. And then if not, if that doesn't happen between now and when we make that decision, then we'll go ahead and cancel. So thank you for the feedback.
Thank you. Okay, so now we will move on to the staff and commission reports. First, from Robert Kaufman.
Yeah, before I get started, can get parents who probably got like, I'm gonna try to be quick here, so like
Awesome.
15 minutes. 7:25.
No Chipotle for us, Robert?
I have a massive list, but I'm gonna try to be quick, okay, so.
Also, do we make the Instagram post?
Pardon?
Do we make the Instagram post or?
No.
No.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, you're putting me to work.
Okay.
So. Sonia, it's not how to figure it out.
I mean, we can always get on the Canva grind if you need
Alright,
Skill in Canva.
we'll keep that in mind while I can.
Not me.
Yeah, you just try to figure out the date of next team commission.
Yeah. Let's do that here.
January 8th, right? Okay, never mind. Alright.
Okay,
Took me a while to process that.
Yeah, I was making funny.
A school Chromebook.
oh,
Okay,
yes, everyone done? Okay.
How's everybody feeling? Ready for me to?
We're fired up.
Like, cool. I got a lot of bullet points here, so I'm just gonna be kind of like freestyling tonight. Yeah, tonight, pretty simple, just some event wrap-ups. We had quite a few things happen in the last month, and then we have quite a bit coming up too, okay? So keep it short because I'll figure you're probably only half listening to me anyways, and then I'll just send all that intro out. Okay, I got the wrap it up. Okay, cool. The one thing I do have written down, Chris Garcia, the coordinator over at the Senior Center, gave me a lovely post-event write-up for Hidden Treasures, which I believe I talked about a while ago whenever I last saw you. So I'll read that now. On Thursday, October 24th, the Cupertino Parks and Recreation Department's annual Hidden Treasures event attracted more than 1,000 shoppers who browsed through thousands of items in search of their own hidden treasure, all to support the city's Stay Active Fund. The Stay Active Fund is a vital resource that helps Cupertino senior residents stay active, engaged, and connected to their community. This year, the event made more than $14,800. So yeah, nothing to scoff at, right? This event was made possible by the hard work of the city's Parks and Recreation staff and the dedication of over 50 senior center volunteers. Yeah, massive success. I think I remember trying to urge y'all to attend that, but that was during school time. So obviously you weren't gonna make that event, but yeah, that's senior center's big event for the season or for the pre-holiday time. Okay. And then in our division, in the facilities, events, and youth and teams division, on Saturday, October 26th, Mariah Green, one of my direct teammates, had her annual Monster Mash event. I'm sure some of you all have seen it before. We had over 200 families come and attend that event. It's a really fun evening. It's more youth aged oriented, but we have a bunch of crafts and stuff, a bunch of games. All of it's done out here behind the Quinlan in the quad area. Kind of a side note for me, that was our first Rev Recreation Events Volunteers Group supported event. We had about 30 volunteers show up for that event. About a third of that was Rev membership. We're small, but we're growing. But yeah, it was a very volunteer supported event. Of course, we did have Parks and Rec staff such as Sonia and myself there. Special shout out to Anika, who she was the MC of the event for a second time, and she did a great job. We had a fancier AV setup, so she was actually able to kind of like be out in the event grounds this time as she narrated. And she narrated stuff like our costume parade. Yeah, she emceed it and did a great job. I also want to shout out Brianna, who was there, right? One of our 30 volunteers, and I think she brought a friend. And did you have a fun time? Do you have anything to add to Monster Mash?
It's fun.
Good answer, good answer.
It was fun. Okay, cool. And then the week, literally like days after that was my event, Pizza and Politics. That was Wednesday, November 30th. It's kind of a joint collaboration with two other cities, City of Campbell and City of Saratoga. So I coordinated this event with Grace Farrell and Ramona McGarry, I believe is her last name, from Saratoga. And we had our respective team bodies helping us kind of host that event. My youth activity board, and then they had their youth commissions. And yeah, we had over 65 attendees for the event, which was definitely a big step up in attendance from 2022's iteration, and about probably 100 teams in total, if we include the ones that were hosting and kind of participated. Special shout out to your chair, Shivika Bitward. was the moderator for the mayor's roundtable. That was the first segment. She did such an amazing job. Especially this year, we had an even shorter timeline to kind of prep her and some of the other teams for that event. I would also like to give a lighter but still good shout out for Anika. While she wasn't part of the event, she did help support in the prep for it just in the days before as kind of an alternate speaker. So thank you for kind of showing up and supporting in any way possible. And then also no shout out, but Peter Chet was there. Coming.
All right, I'm gonna right now.
You do. Sorry to get to really talk to you that night. As you can see, there's a lot going on.
I know.
That event.
Yeah, like a whole like mic set up.
Yeah, I had a headset. I was like,
Oh my god.
quite the night. Okay, so that's our kind of like our October wrap up. Am I missing anything? October. November is, so we're gonna look forward now, to upcoming events. For November, it's a little quiet, but that's not like, that doesn't mean we're not doing anything. Everybody, our whole department, we're all kind of just working on all of our Santa-based stuff that's coming up in December, and December is a very packed month. That said, before December, at the end of this month, Friday, November 22nd, there is a teen movie night, hosted by Yab and myself. That's gonna be here at the Quinlan, in the Cupertino room. We're gonna be showing Despicable Me 4. So please come join us and hang out, and we're gonna serve mac and cheese, and we're gonna try to do like a Minions themed popcorn, so please show up and eat that. So it's not just me eating it on Monday onward. Yeah, so just wanted to plug that real quick because that definitely affects y'all. And then, like I said, Santa stuff. The week, 2 weeks after that, our season starts with tree lighting on Friday, December 6th. That's at 6 p.m. That event's actually open. That event's a free event that's open to the whole public. Very family based. If you bring your family, please attend. I can't.
Chair too.
Yeah, I was gonna get there, but yeah, usually council comes and has kind of like a welcome address addressing at the event, and then Santa shows up and the fire department brings him in, comes out, and he through a little holiday magic brings the tree to life. Okay, so that's tree lighting, and then we will have activities and other things going on. That is another volunteer-based event. I believe you probably received an email from me regarding our holiday events volunteer recruitment. So you're welcome to either participate as volunteers or please at least, spread that information to others. I have everything I'm about to talk about included on that form and that email. And I'll probably pass to everybody and send another one out soon. Okay. Literally the morning after is breakfast with Santa. Oh, I should also mention tree lighting is done by another one of my direct teammates, Christina Lopez. She's the one who does Big Bunny and 4th of July. I'm sure some of you have met her. And then the next morning is another one of Mariah Green's events, Breakfast with Santa. That is on Saturday, December 7th. And unfortunately, I didn't write down the time, but it's quite early. It's like 8 to like 11:30 or something like that. There's 3 different time slots that if your family or somebody is interested in registering for, there's 3 different time slots just to try and stagger and make sure not everybody's there at once. That's held here at the Quinlan in the Cupertino room. Pancakes, Santa. It's a really cute photo that your family can take with Santa. Once again, volunteer supported, so if you're interested, we do need some elves for that day. We had a couple commissioners last year be elves. I think Shivaka was one of them. No.
No, Reina
It was Raina. Okay, it was Raina and
And
somebody
then-
else, right?
was,
Oh, Drudy and she.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put on hat though.
Can you put a hat on somewhere?
I was like grinding.
You were an elf at some point, if I don't know when, but it happened at some point. Okay. The next weekend We're almost done, I promise. We're almost done. Four things. The next weekend is one of our newer Santa events, but it is a really feel-good event. I was fortunate enough to work the first couple of these, and of course now I have my own Santa thing, so you know, I don't get to be there, but it's an awesome event. Signing Santa. That one is coordinated by Molly James, I believe, or at least her staff, and also her staff, the recreation coordinators, such like myself, Jason Bazali. Lovely that you all got to see Molly James tonight, put a face to the name. So the outdoor division does breakfast with Santa, and that's on Saturday, December 14th, from 2 to 4 p.m. We're gonna try to support that with volunteers as well this time around. And just a little bit about that event. That event is more geared towards hard of hearing and deaf children, just giving them the opportunity to interact with a Santa that can, you know, that can sign an ASL. Yeah, signing Santa is a great event. And then my Santa program starts that weekend. That is called Santa Visits. They're a city vehicle that the head elf of the Cupertino brand
Hell yeah.
Decorates with lights and presents, and then I send Santa and an elf out into our community, and they visit different families around town. So, and that happens all weekend long, and then the weekend afterwards. So it's a 15-minute visit. There's about 8 visits we do per night. And that one's actually pretty well registered at the moment, surprisingly. I think it's a very our participants are pretty loyal to that program. So there's a lot of families that like to do it year to year. So yeah, Santa visits. I think I'm done talking about Santa for a second. In that same weekend, Saturday, December 14th, Yab and I are going to be having our annual Cupertino Cafe. That's where we open Community Hall. That's the building between City Hall and the library. Thank you for mouthing that. And that's, we open it up to its exclusive kind of study hall. We have snacks and cozy winter vibes, you know, put the Yuletide log on the, have like little holiday like jazzy tunes playing. We've had tutors in the past. We also bring out like rec activities as well. So it's just kind of like a space to study, especially after, you know, the library closes. Hang out with us and just kind of like chill out. So yeah, Cupertino Cafe. Would love to see some of you there. That event, that's going to be 3 to 8, Saturday, December 14th. Okay, last thing. I really promise this time, okay? In January, just looking ahead in January, my annual spelling bee is gonna happen, Cupertino Spelling Bee, that's on Saturday, January 18th. I'm going to need a few judges for that. A couple years ago, started, pretty much when I took this event over, decided to kind of have Evans run this event as kind of a intergenerational work program was one of our things back then, and the idea of like creating more opportunities for different age groups to interact with each other in our community was very present on our mind. And so a couple of years ago, when I took over Spelling Bee, I thought, why don't we have like kind of some of the teams run this event? So Youth Activity Board has taken over the, you know, the hosting or the planning of this event, and then we've had teen commissioners be the judges and the spelling master for it. And honestly, this event has only gotten better and better. Last year was like really awesome, and we're really excited for this one. So I will be sending out an email for inviting all to become judges for this event. Yeah, that's kind of our next teen commissioner opportunity. Okay. And now. I'm done.
And we have one last thing from Sonia.
I have one thing that I added, after we had public safety, fair put on the books. It's very early, but our, department is gonna be taking over running the Earth and Arbor Day, festival. And it's gonna be April 5th in 2025. So if you wanna put that on your books, we will be looking for lots of volunteers and participation. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, so there is no future agenda setting, so I guess it's time to adjourn. This meeting is adjourned at 7:27 p.m.